We're here in Rexburg, Idaho, in Madison County with.
Alora. Savannah.
Alex.
And have you guys experienced any changes in the climate over the course of your lifetime?
I think so. I used to live in California, so there was a ton of droughts and stuff, and honestly, most of my time growing up, it was a drought, but not really sure. It's just always been hot, I guess. I don't know.
We've had a lot of, I'm from the South, I'm from North Carolina. We've had a lot of weather changes. We used to have super wet seasons, and now our seasons are a lot drier compared to the thunderstorms we used to have.
Well, I'm from Tokyo, and so, as of within the last 5 years, there's more snow, and summers are a lot hotter. So I can definitely feel the change.
Yeah. Do you think climate change has impacted y'all in any way?
I don't think me. Well, I think honestly it has. It does affect because it trickles down. Like, it's gonna affect you no matter what. And I just don't really know what to do about it. You just kind of cry about it. You're like, oh, nice. Earth kind of sucks right now. But I think, I think honestly, it affects farmers. It affects just everyone. Yeah, it really does.
I think I was too young to really see the change and notice a lot, but I've noticed as I was older before I moved out here that it was a lot drier and not as wet as it used to be.
Well, even if I don't feel the change, the impact now, I know it will later. So I know that it's gonna affect me.
How do you think it'll affect you later?
Well, I know that later it's just, if it gets hotter, I know I need to do something that could help some way. And I know that it's really dependent on what we do now. So.
What do you think we can do about climate change?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. The main thing is just cars. I feel from where I'm from, everything's really close and it's just easy to walk places. But here, everything's so spread apart that it's pretty much essential that you need a car to get to survive. And I feel like if they somehow change that so that it's easier for people to walk to places, I think that'll help. Because being able to walk places does have an impact just because you're not using your car and using gas. So I think if they are able to somehow manage to do that, I think that'll help a lot. But apart from that, I'm not entirely sure.
What do you guys think?
I also kind of do agree with that, just making things a lot closer so we don't have to rely on transport as much.
I think just better infrastructure. Basically, infrastructure for clean energy. I know that we rely a lot on oil and stuff, and we're trying to make the change towards electric. But because a lot of the electric stuff is going to regular it's still using fossil fuels, unfortunately, and you're just oh, it's 2 steps, and then there's all this stuff, and just being aware of what you use and what you do, how much trash you're producing, if you're reusing stuff, or just reducing the amount of stuff. I just think, just mindfulness a lot would be really good. I think if people took the time to just was just what am I using, and is it towards my benefit, and is it I don't know. I just a little bit more mindfulness, I think, would be really helpful if everyone started doing it.
So you guys all are here at BYU, but you grew up in California. Do you remember how was climate change taught to you at school?
California, I definitely did have a different experience from California. I know I'm from Bakersfield, so it's a little bit more conservative, but it's also there's still a lot of liberal stuff on there. And I think when it, I don't know, I guess they were very open about it. Very open about the climate change on there, and it's just it's not about politics, it's about our future, and it's about just helping the earth. And I think something for me, it was just I know personally with my own beliefs, I was just I don't think stuff should be wasted, and I don't think stuff should be taken for granted.
What about North Carolina? How did you learn about climate change?
I learned more about climate change from a stronger agricultural aspect, where just learning about the rain and a constant weather season is very important just for keeping up the sustainability.
And how is climate change disrupting that?
It's, we have drier seasons, there isn't as much going on, we don't have the rain and the thunderstorms as crazy as we used to, especially hurricanes on the East Coast aren't as common. They still are, but they don't last as long, which is interesting. So but I learned about it more in like middle school-ish, but then after that it wasn't really talked about.
Well, and what about in Tokyo?
Well, so I went to an American school, but they didn't really teach us climate change. But growing up off the base that I went to school on, because my mom is Japanese and we lived off base, we had to separate quite literally everything, like all of our trash. So that kind of taught me like there's an importance in how we throw out things, and it's important to like separate them so we know what we can reuse and what we can't.
Yeah, and do you guys see the same level of awareness about climate change here?
Not necessarily. I wish there was a little bit more, but yeah.
I haven't heard about it in a long time.
I don't really see anything about climate change since I've moved out here.
How long have y'all lived out here?
I think probably 8 months now.
It's been like 8 months.
This is, yeah, 8 months, and this is like my first time ever living in the States.
Wow. Do you guys have anything else you want to add about climate change or anything related?
I don't know. Oh goodness. I think just bringing more awareness to it, I guess. Yeah.
Awareness is important.
Well, one other thing I just thought about, because in Japan we have a lot of trains, and our train system is very efficient, and I think having more access to public transportation can also help, because I think our trains run on electricity, and having that and being able to move massive amount of people without them having to drive around will definitely help.
Yeah.
So I think if we are able to implement a better train system in the States, I think that'd help a lot.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.